This lesson is on styles. Now, a lot of people I've trained have never heard of styles. Over the years, in my humble opinion, it's been the strongest feature for a long time, and apparently people at Microsoft agree because it's made its way onto the main ribbon, onto the home ribbon. Styles has taken up like half of it. There's a reason for that, because it's probably the strongest feature in all of Microsoft Word. We've got some great, powerful tools that we've talked about, and again, most of them work in a way that you type in a document and then you make it look good. You make it, then you make it pretty. Styles is right along that line. It's made to be used after you've typed your entire document. Now let's review. We've got F4, which means whatever I just did, do it again. Now typically, if you've changed a font size, you've indented, okay, it'll repeat one thing. Great tool, just not incredibly powerful. You've got the ability to select several areas with your control key, which is also a very good tool, right? So if I wanted this word and then put my control key down, and then I can select these words, right? And then I can format all of them at the same time. Also a very powerful tool. You've also got the format painter that we talked about. All lessons that you should have viewed before seeing this one. The format painter, of course, if you have something that has all kinds of unique things happening, all you need to do is take a paint sample, go to the paint store, and whatever you select now, okay, will get the same thing. Now I obviously missed this, so double click here, and now whatever I select takes on the same characteristics. So that's your format painter. Now they're all super tools, and if I make the analogy of superheroes, they're like Batman and Aquaman. Styles would be Superman, just the strongest tool there is. Now, I'm going to stop talking it up and actually start teaching it. First of all, you've got these style sets here, and you'll notice that as I scroll over them, they're showing me what my document would look like if I clicked on one of them. It would actually change this entire document that quickly to look exactly like this. Now, I don't find myself using style set very often, but for some of you this may do the trick. Usually I'll pick one of these and then I'll back it up with some styles. So, just want to talk about style set for a minute. Usually you'll select an area and then you'll find a style that really makes that area look good. And a lot of these really do a good job. So I'm not clicking on anything, I'm simply scrolling over with my mouse and it's showing me what it would look like if I chose one of those styles. Like right now, I really like this. So I would say, give me that for a title. That's a wonderful title right there. Without having to think, without having to get creative, that did a really good job for me. And then you can take these lines, you can make all these lines, that line the same. And again, like, it's just giving me some really good ideas. I really like this one, so I can say, yeah, give me that. Here I've got this first introductory paragraph and this last one. I know for a fact that I want them to be the same. Okay, so I can use my control key and do that. And then I'm going to want these three to be the same. Now, I already talked about the fact that you've got some to choose from, and you've got lots to choose from, right? And you may find that one of these does the trick for you. However, you're not limited to these. So what I want you to know now is that you can set up your own style, which is really neat. So, and you can even experiment. So you say, all right, I want this to look really good. So I'm going to indent this, let's say 1/2 inch from the left and 1/2 inch from the right. And then I'm going to justify this. And then I can even change my line spacing if I want to, right? I can change my line spacing to 1.5 because I really want this to stand out. And then you can pick a fancy font if you'd like. Okay, nice fancy font, whatever one you'd want. So I'm just making stuff up as I go here, right? Change a color if you'd like to. You can italicize it. Whatever it is you want to do. And then, this is awful, just by the way. I can't even live with that. Let me just change this. All right, that's better. So let's say you've done all of this and you realize this is what I want. So let's just rewind here. I changed the indentation. I changed the font size, the font style, right? I changed the line spacing, all of those things. Like Format Painter and F4, they can't touch these things because there's too much there. However, styles can. Now that I've got that, F4 won't redo all of those things. But what I can do, I can come here and say save selection as a new quick style, and I can name this something. So oh gosh, you know what, you'd have to give it some thought, and you'd have to say this is going to make a little sense. So I'll just call this Indie, short for Indent, and Untitled, let's say, and then I'll say OK. So now that's been added to this list. So all you need to do now is scroll down your document and find all the paragraphs that you want to look like this. Click in that paragraph and say, yeah, you be Untitled. And it took the entire paragraph and applied everything into that paragraph that quickly. It's that easy to use. Now, I've got these paragraphs, and I know that I want a hanging indent, which is sometimes hard to get. I'm going to want a hanging indent right there for these paragraphs, and then I know that I'm going to probably want them like this, and then I want some line spacing here as well, so I can go maybe here, and again I can select all the text, and I could maybe change the font to something a little bit fancier, and I'm probably going to want some spacing between my paragraphs, so maybe give me 10 or 12 points after my paragraphs. There we go. All right. And if I knew that I wanted to use this again, I'd be able to save this as another style and then apply it later on in my document. It simply allows you to take a humdrum document, especially the long ones, and make it look great very, very quickly. You set everything you want, and if you like that style, you go in, you add it as a new quick style right here, and then you use it again and again and again. Now, I also need to mention that if you decide as you're going through that, oh, you know what, this is perfect, but I would have liked to have changed one little thing about this, right? Increase this or decrease that or whatever. You can actually go to that and you can right click on it and say, I would like to modify that style. And you can modify anything you want. Let's say you want to bump it up to 14. You can do that. And when you do that and hit OK, it will change every instance in your entire document. So that's right click, you go to modify, and I can even bring it back to 12 and say, no, I liked it better at 12. That's one key thing. The other key thing is if you find that you like this style that you've created so much that you want it available on every document, because you see this Indie Ital that I created here, it's only going to show up on this document. However, right click, go to modify. If you turn that on right there, okay, it will now be showing up on every single new document that you open. So it'll be available to you every day at all time. And this is nice because you can now start creating consistent documents and sending them out exactly with the styles that you've created that you want, and they're always going to be at your disposal regardless of the document that you use. This is an incredibly powerful feature. You're going to need to give some thought as to how and when and where you're going to use this, but load up your styles, get to know the ones that you like, and start using them. They're going to save you a lot of time in formatting. And again, I'm hoping you're starting to understand why we make it, then make it pretty. This is just another reason why you can do that.